Joseph Parker retains his WBO World Heavyweight title with a 12-round majority decision victory over Hughie Fury. Now, first of all, I have to say, the scorecards were ridiculous. Two of the judges had it 118 to 110 in favor of Parker. And the other judge, I think, had it 114 a draw. That's why it was a majority decision. The fight was competitive all the way through. I felt that Hughie Fury's movement was excellent, but it was excessive. And perhaps that's what the judges didn't like, the excessive levels of movement. The commentators compared it to the Canelo-Golovkin fight, but the reality is Hughie Fury was moving way more than Canelo moved against Golovkin. In fact, Hughie Fury, Canelo stood his ground at many points against Golovkin, even came forward and pushed Golovkin back at points, held his feet and slugged with Golovkin at certain times. Hughie Fury didn't do that against Joseph Parker. He was moving incessantly. And when you consider the fact that Canelo is a hell of a lot smaller than Hughie Fury, but Hughie Fury was moving way more than Canelo was against Golovkin, it's generally more difficult for bigger guys to move as much as smaller guys. So that just shows you how excessive the movement was from Hughie Fury. Now, it was effective because he did frustrate Joseph Parker, and he was able to land nice counters and catch Parker coming in with uppercuts and whatnot. And the majority of the clean punches that I remember in this fight were from Hughie Fury. They didn't have the power of Parker's punches, but the majority of clean shots, which I easily saw, were from Hughie Fury. Nice little counters where Parker would lunge in, Fury would slide to the side and hit him with an uppercut or a right hand somehow. His jab was effective throughout, although he wasn't landing clean with a jab at a lot of time. Joseph Parker was blocking with his gloves and whatnot. But still, I felt like, for me, Hughie Fury was the more comfortable fighter in there for most of the fight. Joseph Parker looked like he was struggling with the movement and struggling to find his range. But again, it's Joseph Parker winning the fight, to me, is plausible. I don't think it's a robbery like people are saying in terms of the result. In terms of the scorecards, I've got a problem with the scorecards. But in terms of the actual result, I don't really have a problem. I think that it depends what the judges like. And when someone is moving that incessantly, all over the place, running basically like Erislandy Lara, it can turn a lot of judges off when they see that level of running. If he'd stood his ground a bit more and opened up a bit on Joseph Parker at certain points, he might have been given the benefit of the doubt on certain rounds. Although some people are going to say, look, it's got nothing to do with what the judges like and what the judges don't like. It's just got to do with the fact that there's a certain bias there, maybe against the Furies, or a bias there in favor of Joe Parker by the sanctioning body, the WBO. And because of that, that's why the fight was scored accordingly. So I'll let you guys decide what you think in the comment section below. But personally, I don't know. It was an awkward fight to score. But the overall impression that I had is that Hughie Fury did more of what he wanted to do than Joseph Parker did. So in terms of ring generalship, I would say Hughie Fury won the fight in terms of ring generalship. And maybe even in terms of clean punches landed in most of the rounds. But they weren't hard shots most of the time by heavyweight standards. And they do take the power of shots, the quality of the punches into consideration when scoring fights. So I don't know. I personally wouldn't have complained if Fury had got the decision. And I wouldn't have complained if Parker had got the decision by close margins. But it's just the fact that it's such a ridiculous wide margin on two of the judges' scorecards, 118-110. And then the other judge had it a draw. I mean, that just shows you how ridiculous it is. How can two judges have it 118-110 and the other one have it a draw? You know, so obviously that third judge was seeing a completely different fight to the other two to have it that close. So I don't know. I think Parker had quick hands. We knew going into the fight that he had just as quick hands as Fury, if not quicker, and more explosive. Fury, obviously, the quicker feet, the more effective jab in the end. Parker was jabbing quite well to the body, but his jab to the head wasn't getting there. Fury's, let me tell you what was good about Hughie Fury. Excellent defensively, good counter punching, excellent movement. He showed a very good chin as well. He took some heavy, heavy shots from Joseph Parker, particularly towards the end of the fight. He started shipping some heavy right hands, and they never seemed to bother him in the slightest to me. There was a couple moments where the commentator said, is Fury hurt there? Is he shaken? But if he was, he hid it well and recovered very quickly. So he showed an excellent chin, a great stamina as well. The fact that he was able to move around like that for 12 rounds, great stamina. So, he showed a lot of good things in there, Hughie Fury, but the one thing which I've always felt he maybe lacks is the physical strength. And people are going to say the punching power as well, but certainly the physical strength, probably the punching power. He kind of is like an Erislandy Lara type fighter who's just going to run around the ring against a lot of the bigger, stronger, harder punching heavyweights out there. He's not really going to give you any kind of value for money fight by the looks of this. So whether people want to support his, support him or not, that's up to them. Whether they like his style, whether they like the whole Fury team, it's up to them. But as far as how it was scored, you guys let me know what you think. Who do you think deserved to win the fight? Do you think Parker winning it was plausible? Do you think Hughie Fury should have got the nod? Just to put it in context, Richie Woodall, who was a pundit for the fight, he actually had Joseph Parker winning. And the commentary team, which included Barry Jones, he had Hughie Fury winning. So even within the YouTube commentary team, there was a disparity between who believed which guy won the fight. So anyway, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know who you think won the fight, what you thought of the scorecards, what you thought of the performances of both men. Did Hughie Fury just move way too much? Should you be rewarded a title for fighting that negatively? And again, the Canelo-Golovkin comparisons, there is no way that Canelo moved as much as Hughie Fury did. No way, not even close. Canelo moved a fair amount, but nothing like the way Fury moved against Parker. That was incessant movement. And movement is there's nothing wrong with movement, but was he giving up so much ground that it looked like he wasn't even trying to fight at all, that he was just trying to survive? I guess that might be the argument that the judges would try and come with. I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comment section, people. It's happening. I'm out.